Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm Carissa.
For years, we've worked in ministries with kids with disabilities.
Loving and supporting and partnering with families and just being in community with them.
But we had no idea how much community support mattered or how much we didn't know about these families' lives until we ended up growing our family by taking in 3 kids with disabilities.
4 years ago, God led us through the challenge of our infertility and allowed us to be a part of His divine interruption in the life of a deteriorating family as He let us take in 2 boys from that family. Shane, the oldest of the 2 boys, has Duchenne's muscular dystrophy and his disability is terminal. His younger brother Jesse is an intense little boy. He struggles a lot more with, I think, his past and upbringing and with emotional and mental disabilities. 2 years later, we added another to our mix. Sophia, she was an orphan who we got from halfway across the world. Her heart was physically failing, and she also came with some other physical deformities and health challenges.
One of the first things that we noticed when we first took in the boys was that our relationships had changed. These changed probably because people were uncomfortable, because of the accessibility issues, because of the behavioral issues. We were uncomfortable with them, and this was new for all of us.
You know, even though relationships changed or transitioned in the beginning, when we first got the kids, we found this great need and desire for community, and out of that came people who were really willing to come into our world and care for us where we were in the midst of the struggle. I think one of the things that is hard is that I think we aren't very good at asking for help, and I know a lot of our other friends and families that have kids with disabilities work really hard and are constantly battling and fighting and working and trying to just provide what they need for their children, and probably don't do a very good job at asking for help. We didn't. One of the times that I needed to ask for help the most actually came this winter. Ben was out of town, or he was going out of town for work, and he was going to be gone like 9 days, which left me alone with the kids for quite a bit of time. And one of the mornings when we woke up, the snow that had been there, you guys remember the snow, was piled up in our yard, and we had made this little pathway from our ramp all the way up to the driveway so that Shane could get to the bus. And it was grass, a grass pathway. But that morning it was raining. And we also knew it was going to rain even more and that the snow was melting. And so as we ventured out that morning, I remember trying to help Shane navigate this muddy path. We had thrown a few pieces of wood down to try to see if it could help him kind of get over the mud. And as we came up along the corner and we're trying to get him up towards the driveway, I just remember him sinking. This big, heavy wheelchair just sinking into the mud. And you can just picture it. There's this wheelchair, it's stuck, his wheels are spinning, I'm crying, it's raining, Shane's upset, and there's like nothing I can do. And I just sat there. I just sat there trying to pull it out, move it out, and there was just, it was a really desperate spot. I didn't know what to do to try to help my kid. I couldn't even get him out of the mud. And so after wrestling a little bit, we finally, after I think it was 10 minutes, managed to get him out just barely and get him up to the bus. And as I was walking back to the house, I just kept thinking 3 o'clock's coming really soon. And he's gonna get it back off that bus, and it's still gonna be raining, and how are we gonna do this? And so I stopped and I thought, well, I need to ask for help. And I know that there's these 2 great guys, our friends Ben and Josh, and they're carpenters, and I bet you they have some scrap wood that they maybe could bring over, because I didn't even have any extra wood at that point. So I called them and I apologized. I felt so bad. They had been working so hard and with the snow and plowing, and I just said, hey, is it just possible? I know that you're in the middle of work, but at some point before 3 o'clock, can you get some wood over to, some just scrap wood over to my house? We can lay it down so Shane might not sink again into the mud, and we can actually get him in the house off the bus. So 3 o'clock came and went, and I was coming home, and as I pulled in my driveway, knowing Shane had already gotten off the bus and hopefully the scrap wood had worked, I walked down to see that there was not just scrap wood along this really disgustingly muddy path, but there was this amazingly perfect wooden sidewalk out of big sheets of plywood that covered the whole entire path. And not only did they cover the path, but it was staked into the ground so it wouldn't move. And I just stood there in the rain crying, because I realized that there was nothing I could have done, and that these men not only came to lay wood down, but they came and made something more amazing and more functional and more just more helpful than they could have imagined. And, you know, I was blown away. We share our story because we know that there are many other families like us who want to be part of a community and who want to give you permission to not just look in, but to come in and get a glimpse of the mystery of what it is like to give, but ultimately end up receiving, just like our kids teach us every day.